Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerus, and today is Fan Friday, which means I'm playing a deck submitted by one of you guys, the viewers. If you'd like to submit your deck for Fan Friday, you can do so by going to the Discord link in the description below and posting your deck in the Fan Fridays text channel. Today's deck comes from a player called Olaf the Mighty, and this is a cursed full test Nova deck. So it's an attempt at the cursed archetype, which utilizes the Kidweni Revenants. When you play, your next spell or item spawn a doomed default copy of this unit on its row. And these guys synergize quite nicely with the Tormented Mages, which look at 2 spells or items from your deck and then play one. So we can use these and these to play the Owl's Thunders and the Bloody Flails and generate more Kidweni Revenants. And then when we get lots of Revenants on the board, or we get lots of infantry on the board, we can then play full test in order to boost them all. Alternatively, we also have the siege supports to add extra damage, and these can also bait out removal, so if your opponent removes your siege support, they may not have removal for your revenants. We then also have a couple damn sorceresses. If there's a cursed unit on this row, deal 7 damage. I personally don't rate this card that highly, but I understand why some other people like it. We have a couple cursed knights, which we can use to then transform one of these weaker, say 2 strength cursed units or 4 strength cursed units into an 8 strength unit, plus playing an 8 strength unit ourselves. In terms of our golds and silvers, we have Alza's Double Cross, which we will use to draw Botchling, which we can use to then play Lubbokin, which is a pretty decent tempo play, that's 17. If you tie Shayla in there as well, so go Shayla, Alza's, Lubbokin, Botchling, or Botchling, Lubbokin, that adds another 4 points to that, making it a 21-point play. Death Mode gives us removal, it gives us an extra Alza's Thunder, which is a spell, which synergizes quite nicely with the Revenants, and then we have Last Wish in order to help us find the cards that we need. Finally, with our golds, we have Dandelion Poet, we have Selkirk, gives us removal, this gives us card draw, this gives us card draw, and this gives us Nova, this is just Nova, which we want to find for the end. So these are kind of our finishers, I guess, in order to try and find the cards that we need. You got to be a little bit careful about drawing both of your Botchling and Lubbokin, or drawing Shayla after you've played your 2 spells, but other than that, the deck is fairly straightforward, I would say. One thing I wonder is maybe if it's worth adding Kira Metz, because she can give you Alza's Thunder and Thunderbolt Potion, which I believe are items and spells, which do synergize quite nicely with the... Revenants. It gives you options also for protecting your Revenants, and I could see you switching out Selkirk for it, because it does give you more synergy. That's just one of the suggestions that I can think of off the top of my head. But let's try out the deck, see where its strengths are, see where its flaws are, and yeah, just see how it goes. So we're going to jump into a casual match now. And if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like.
You want peace? Fight for it. Onward! Attack!
So we're against Hensel, so hopefully we do win the coin flip and go second. In terms of our mulligan, we want to throw an Alza's Thunder, we want to throw a Flail, and we potentially actually want to throw the Botchling. I mean, otherwise Alza's Double Cross is going to give us a Cursed Knight, which isn't terrible. And this, actually no, we've got it in hand, so yeah, I think we throw this and hope we don't pull a Lubbokin, and turns out we were quite fortunate there. Opponent has to go first, which is quite good, and he just straight opted to dry pass. So this is interesting because it means we have to decide what it is we want to play here, and what it is in our deck that's kind of lowest value. I think we can afford to try and actually just bleed him round 2, if this is the case. We need to thin our deck, and the fact that he's opted to dry pass is quite interesting. I mean, the other option is we could take the dry pass ourselves, but I don't think we want to do that. So which of these is like the least useful card is the question. I think we just play the Cursed Knight. Like, Cursed Knights can be pretty good. It can be a 14-point play, but everything else is kind of synergistic. So in terms of how we play into this round, I think that's kind of what we want to do. Oh, we drew a Flail. So if we mulligan and get another item, that could be problematic, which we did. Let's open with the siege support here. We do have a lot of removal though, so we can just remove his machines, which is quite good if you're going up against Hensel. There's Alza's Thunder, which we kind of expected. Let's play a Revenant now. And then we can play a second Revenant in a different row. And just see how much removal he has. If he does choose to try and play a machine, we can always clear it, but actually he didn't. He played Ronvid. So now let's play this. And then it means when we play the Alza's Thunder, we're going to kill whatever he plays, which is good. And we're in control of this round, which is actually quite good because it means we can make low tempo plays without an issue.
Who takes an interest in...
And because we haven't been playing, you know, particularly powerful plays anyway, it also means that this isn't going to trigger his Dunbanner, which I think is quite good. And honestly, I think this was kind of a risky decision for him. Let's play the infantry now. Because you can see that doesn't put us too far ahead. He's got to play some machines at some point. I mean, you're playing Hensel, right? Winch. That's kind of annoying, but, you know, it's something that happens. Let's play Alza's now. But Alza's is going to give us 7 and 8, 15. So maybe we just play Siltkirk. I think we're going to have to trigger the Dunbanner regardless this round, unfortunately, just because of how the round is. Although we could just do this instead.
Where is Sabrina?
It doesn't put us too far ahead, right? So we got Winch again into the same. And I think we're probably just going to have to trigger the Dunbanner as it is. Like, it's going to be tricky not to. The alternative is we play full test here, but we would like to play full test after we've, you know, got a lot of units on the board. So here it comes. And here come the Dunbanner, unfortunately. I mean, there wasn't a lot we could have done to stop that. So... this is the problem, is we committed to playing into this round, and, you know, he has been playing fairly low tempo. Still, I think we have some really strong plays in, you know, up our sleeves, so, you know, I'm not overly worried. The only problem we have here is that he's kind of playing a lot of stuff. Do we just keep committing to killing his machines? I think we do just keep committing to killing his machines. I probably should have put this on a different row. But I think the more machines of his that we kill, you know, the fewer options he has for Hensel, which is pretty good.
Severed limbs, blood, and guts.
So I want to kill that. So let's last wish and try and find... I was going to say try and find Elsa's Thunder. If I play this, will I draw this? That is the question. I'm not sure. It says 2 random cards from your deck, so... But if we play this, then now our 2 strength, what's it called, tormented mages are dead. So that's pretty bad. That was a double item, though, so now we're 18 points up. And he still doesn't have a... Hensel target. Maybe it'll be towers, I don't know. I think this is fine. I think we just keep committing to clearing items, play full test, and then we try and use this Lubberkin play as our final play. And then if we draw, you know, Nova, that's extra good, and if we don't, then we don't.
I'm an officer and a gentleman.
Ooh. I don't feel like that's what you really want to be doing here. We're also putting Dunbanner in his graveyard, because they're not great graveyard targets. And now we have 16 units on the board, so full test becomes a 21-point play.
I'm an officer and a gentleman.
And all you can do is really buff this. I mean, those are 12-point plays. They aren't really very big.
Onward! Attack!
We're now up 36. Bear in mind, we also pulled the Dunbanner this round. And this is what happens if you don't interact with your opponent.
These dogs have no honor.
Okay, so now we're up 19. Can he get 19 in one play? I think this is where we pass. I don't know if he has the Hensel target or not, but it's going to make it very tricky for him. He needs to get 20 points in one play. Which means he may have to spend Hensel, and if he spends Hensel, he's not really going to have a good finisher. So it's kind of tricky for him, but I think like he can't do it in one card. Unless he plays Hensel. And if we get Hensel out of him, even being one card down, I think is okay. You know, he spent Shani as well, so like he doesn't have great options. So yeah, I quite like this strategy. I think it's pretty successful.
You want peace? Fight for it.
I'm an officer and a gentleman.
Wait, he pulled... Yeah, he did... Wait, oh, he pulled a siege support and then he had to play a tower as well. So he didn't have a Henselt target. Maybe he had towers in hand. Like, he did drive past first round, so it suggested to me that his hand was pretty bad. I mean, sometimes that's just the strategy, but also not having a great hand is kind of expensive. I'm actually okay with this. I think we just pull the botchling and the Lubberkin and then target the Lubberkin with the Cursed Knight, right?
Nasty wounds, those, but you'll live.
So I guess he's doing this in case I go too far ahead. He put some Dumbanas, I assume, back in his deck. There we go. So now we're up 8. And this is a 11-point play. So he needs quite a few points. Reinforcements tower is not enough. The strange cursed list beats Henselt. Nice. Nice. And that just, I think part of that was denying targets. You know, killing the targets did really work out for us with this deck. And part of that was... I guess maybe he had bad draws. I don't know. We won, right? I should just be happy. I should just be happy. But let's jump into the deck builder now and maybe make a couple tweaks to the deck and see how it turns out. Okay, so here we are in the deck builder, and I've made a few changes to the deck. The first thing I've done is I've taken out Selkirk, and I've swapped in Kira Metz, because Kira Metz has similar options for removal, in that you have an Elza's Thunder in here, but that's also a spell, and you have access to Thunderbolt, which is an item. And these synergize with the K-Dwennies. Similarly, I've taken out Poet, and I've put in Triss Telekinesis, because this allows us to create a bronze special card from our deck, or well, either player, so we can get Alzers, we can get Bloody Flail, and now we can also get Recon. I took out the Tormented, or the Cursed Mages, and I put in the Recons, because I think this deck, thinning is really good, so having Recons in there gives you that option. It gives you access to your units, and you want to be able to find your K-20 Revenants, and you want to be able to find your siege support. So having access, more access to units and more access to thinning is good. I mean, another way you could have done it with is with something like recruitment, reinforcements even, and what's he called? Stennis. But I quite like the Silver Core anyway. I quite like the Silver Core. It doesn't have a spy, and that's maybe costly, but that's because the Elza's double cross into Botchling Lubberkin combo, and I'm not sure what you'd take out if you wanted to put in a spy. Maybe Shayla is probably the target that you would take out. But yeah, so I took out the 4 strength. Oh, they're damned sorceresses. I mean, technically they are cursed mages, but you know, I took those out and put in the recons instead, just to see how that kind of works out. So let's try this amended version of the deck and see how it goes.
Onward! Attack! Close ranks!
So we are against another full test. This is going to be interesting. For the mulligan, let's get rid of the Alzas, then the flail, then another flail. Oh, we drew Lubberkin. That's a little bit awkward, but we can always mulligan that later. You know, we don't have Alza's double cross anyway, so mulliganing that's not too bad. He is running a Nova deck, because he has the same number of cards as I do, so that's worth being aware of. We'll open with the siege support.
Salutations.
Get that on the board. And see how this goes. Siege supports are good because they bait removal. The risk with Recon is we get double Cursed Knight, so that's kind of scary.
How did that incantation go?
Oh, he's gonna weather me. Well, whether or not that happens, it's all good. Because now we can play our Revenants. So I think we need to play both our Revenants and our Tormented Mage before we play Recon in case we get double Cursed Knight. We would like to get a Siege support, but it's not guaranteed. And if we get a second Tormented Mage, then we want to have both of these on the board. So, you know, we may as well play into that.
What do you want?
So we can kill this a little later. We don't have to kill it right now. Let's get these on board first. Then we can play Kirametz and just zap it. Or Triss and just zap it. And this is where these cards come in extra useful because they give you more removal, which is always good. If he's greedy, what he does is he plays another siege support. Typically, though, full test decks are swarm, so he's unlikely to have removal.
Thank you.
Ah, that's kind of a problem.
Nature sticks.
So the problem with this is it's 10, which means it's going to be hard to kill. But we can always double hit it, right? We can hit it once with the... Actually, we only need to take the armor off, so it doesn't matter. My bad. I was like, we can't kill it, but we can take the armor off, so it's not really a huge issue. And if he puts more armor on it, we can probably hit it again, right? Because we've got Triss.
I'm not afraid.
And we just have to deny his engines while maintaining our own. So let's hit this. Battering rams. This is an odd deck. Unless it's a shoop deck. I wouldn't imagine it's a shoop deck, but maybe. Maybe. I mean, he's playing one of everything at this point. Like, it could very well be a shoop deck.
Salutations.
What if it's a shoop deck? I mean, he could only win one round with shoop, right? He's got to win 2 rounds, so... I think that'll be okay if it is. Oh, of course he gets lucky and hits that. Of course! It's not a shoop deck. So we know this now, it's not a shoop deck. This is better for swarming. So I guess we just go full on with the swarm strategy.
Take it anymore.
I probably want to zap this. We should probably zap this.
I'm an officer and a gentleman.
This deck has like a bit of everything. He would have been able to kill it anyway. Doesn't really matter that he killed that one. It wasn't going to spawn anyway. So let's play this now.
Just great.
I mean, we could go for this and try and get the Tormented Mage, but if we get double Cursed Knight, that's going to be really awkward. Let's take a risk. Yes! Always lucky. Because this also thins our deck, which means we're more likely to find Dijkstra, and we're more likely to find Nova. But we're also more likely to find Botchline, which is kind of scary. We're up 22 at this point. It may be worth playing this, just because... I mean, so this is the optimal strategy to play this, then full test, but if he passes, that's a little bit awkward. But he hasn't played his full test either. You know, so... He's in a bit of a tricky
Crush
spot.
those vermin!
He's played 2 battering rams.
Crush those vermin!
We're up 28. I think this is where we can pass. I don't think he can even catch us with 2 cards based on what his deck is. Like, this is going well, but I think our opponent is playing a very strange deck. Alza's... that's okay. We'll throw this. That's not what we want. We're gonna draw it now. This is the problem, is like we're in a risky position with how we draw. And if I play then Alza's, I'm gonna get a Curse Knight. And I mean, maybe it's a Baron deck? Because he does have a lot of removal, right? Flail. So we have to throw this. Oh, and we got Nova. That's really good.
Uh-oh. Trouble approaches.
So we'll play this. 13 and 6. 19 points. It's pretty good. Shoot that, get another body. This is actually cursed as well, so depending on if one of these gets hit, we'll decide what we want to transform into. A Knight Dijkstra.
Dead serious.
I mean, he's gotten a lot of engines. But maybe he doesn't have Nova. Nah, I think he does have Nova. We're up 1. But he gets +2 and 1, so we might actually just lose here. If this is Nova, we lose. The fact that he didn't mulligan makes me think it is Nova. Oh, come on.
Don't make me laugh.
We just lost to, like, the jankiest deck possible off of some pretty sick top decks. It's a shame. Clearly the changes I made to the deck didn't work, you guys. But if you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like. It is a tricky deck to play, and it's one of those ones that is a bit situational in terms of what you draw. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. You can always subscribe to the channel. And if you want to submit your deck for Fan Friday, there's a Discord link in the description below where you can post your deck. Let me know what you thought of the deck in the comments, and you can always find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jagras, and on Twitter @Jagras. Thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next video.